Hi there, this is Mohammad Abbas from Computer Tech Skill and welcome to the 5th class of Microsoft Word. In this tutorial we are going to learn about text and symbols. Well, let's try to understand about the text group that is present there. The very first thing that I need to make you understand is that what is text box. Well, this group is all related to, I think so, text. So let's try to understand about text box. What is text box? Well, you can understand text box by its name. It is the box of any of the text. If you want to make or if you want to bring any of the box of any text, so you can go there and you're free to use that or bring any of the box you want. So let me try any of them. For example, I have to go to let's suppose for this one. So this is sort of a box that is present there in which you may have a sort of design. If you want to edit that or type some of the things there, you can go for this. If you want to type something in it or if you want to edit that, you can go and you're free to edit that anytime you want. Or you want to type any of the things, you can go for that typing. So let's try to edit that by selecting that and go for home and try to bring any of the beautiful color. Like I need to bring that color so that it will match with the design. And let's try to increase a little bit the size. I think this will not be suitable. Let's try to change this font size. Let's try to go for this one. And now what we need to do is that I have deliberately applied style or color in order to make sure that I have to be selecting that. So let's try to select that by holding the control or the command button on keyboard and press A button. Now this box is selected. What I need to tell you is that it is important to select that or edit any of the text box in order to save it. How can we save text box? Well, we have to select that before we save that, and now I have selected that and go for save selection to text box gallery. Select that and try to type any of the names, like for example, or I may be naming it like 1. You can say text box. You can say text box and hit OK. Now what we need to do is that just to delete that temporarily in order to check it out that whether or not it is saved in gallery. So try to delete that and try to go for text box and try to find it in gallery. Let's try to come down at the bottom and we've got the text box which I have named by text box. So try to click that and now we're having the same design which we have edited and which we have increased or decreased the size or bring the color. So what we need to do is that we need to go for the second option that is known as word art. Let's try to apply this or try to use that. How does it work like? What we need to do is that any of the style you want to bring, that depends upon you. That depends upon your wish. So I personally like maybe going for this one. I have to type something. Teaching is good thing. Well, let me make you understand how can we increase or decrease the size of that. You have to edit that furthermore by selecting that and going for format. There is an option known as format. Well, now I have clicked on format and there you'll find shape fill. If you want to fill any of the color, if you want to fill gradient, you are free to go for that. And shape outline, well, there are some effects. Let's try to use that. Like we have got shadow. If you want to bring the shadow, you can go for that. And reflections, and there's an interesting option known as glue, soft edges. If you want to make edges soft, you can go for that. And there's an option bevel. Well, I think this is not applying because of text. You need to be bringing some sort of shape in order to apply. So let's try to go for text fill. And there you'll find text effects. if you want to go for A3D, now you're free and now you're able to use that. And there's an interesting option. Anyone you like, you can go for that. This is the circle one, and this is bottom. This is known as top, this is known as triangle up and triangle down. So now you're free to use any of the options or any of the styles you want. You can also go for bevel. Well, you're able to be applying any of the bevels. And there's glue, reflection, shadow. Let's try to go for bevel and use that or utilize that. Well, there are maybe more options inside bevels, like let's try to go for this, and let's try to apply 3D options. And there you'll find more options inside bevel. Like for example, if you want to decrease or increase depth of this, you can go and utilize anytime you want. Well, the next option is known as drop cap. What you need to do is you need to type at least 10 or 250 lines, or maybe 10 to 30 lines, or that is not the condition that how many of the lines you have to type, but at least you have to be having 20 lines. So let's try to go for formula as equal to RAND. Now we're having a formula, you need to be selecting that. Let me tell you about that. Drop cap. If I want to go for dropped, the first letter of this paragraph will become much more bigger than the paragraphs or than the letters that are present. In margin, let me make you understand about the difference that is present inside dropped or in margin. Well, dropped is something that will be coming inside the paragraph, and that is something which the first letter of this paragraph will be going outside. So that is what is the difference. If you want to apply that permanently, you have to be clicking on that, and if you want to apply that temporarily, so you have to be using just your mouse. And let's try to go for drop cap options. What I need to do is by clicking dropped, and there will be an option known as lines to drop. So let's try to increase that a little bit, maybe 3 steps, and distance from text, and let's try to use that too, and hit OK. Well, the thing that has changed is that the first letter or the letter that is known as V is also having the distance between the letters, the paragraph of the lines and the letter. And also the first letter is increasing, or it has increased its size. So that is what is related to drop cap. Well, let's try to understand. Let me decrease a little bit the size of the page and click at the bottom. What I have to do is just to click twice or thrice, or maybe hit enter twice or thrice, and go for signature line. Well, sometimes you need to be having the portion or the place that you have to be signing on that. So if you print this page, you're not having any of the place that you have to be signing, so you're free to sign any of the place. So what I need to make you understand is that we're having some sort of specific place in which we have to be signing. So we need to go for signature line, Microsoft Office signature line, and type here signature. Signature, hit OK. Well, now the place of signature is being made. So what you need to do is, if you want to sign it, you have to be printing that. What you need to do is to just print your paper and sign at the place which I have brought, which I have just brought. Try to go some steps back by holding the Control or the Command button and press Z button. Well, let's try to bring the name. Well, let's try to bring date or maybe time. If you want to bring that, you are free to go for this option. Well, that depends upon your wish. Anyone you like, you can go for that, and you have to be clicking on that. See, now date and year is also coming there. Let's try to use object. Object is something that if you want to open any of the different file that is located some different or some elsewhere, so you have to be clicking on that. and just double clicking on any of the files. Now different sort of file is opening. So if you want to get rid of this, you have to be pressing escape button on your keyboard. And there is an option known as text from file. Well, that is something, if you want to bring any of the text file from any another location, you have to be using this option. Let's try to use that by just showing the desktop and try to right click there, new, and text document. Rename that like DD, double click on that and try to type something. Going back. See, I have typed these two words. Just close that and save it and just try to go for MS Word. Well, what we have to do is by going to object and text from file and go to desktop. We are not having any of the files. What we have to do is to go for this option, all Word document and all files. Now we have got DD text document. So what we have typed over there is brought to MS Word, like going back. So that is what is related to the same thing. Let's try to go for symbols. Well, symbols are something that stands for something. For example, if we want to go for more symbols, and just try to double click that. Anyone you like, anyone you want to bring, just try to double click that. You want to change it, you can go for this. You're maybe having some sort of logos, you're maybe having some sort of good samples, maybe interesting samples. See, it is giving the result. You're just supposed to be double clicking. So that's all for today's tutorial. I hope you have enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, please give a thumbs up, subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for more. Thank you so much for watching the tutorial. See you in my next tutorial. Bye bye for now.